second episode of For Immigrants. I made a whole playlist for immigrants because I'm an immigrant. I moved here about 15 years ago and there's so many things I didn't know. If you're coming from Europe like I did, America is completely different. I've never imagined growing up that I would ever have a driving license. I lived in downtown. I never needed to drive anywhere. There was subways, trolleys, buses. Here, you have to have a car. So, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out any of these videos if you're interested to see what it's like living in America. In the last video, I talked about how to get cheap or affordable or even free furniture, because that's one really big important thing. When you move here from a different country, you're most likely not gonna ship your furniture here, which is by boat, and it's very expensive, about a few $1,000s. In this video, we're gonna talk about credit score. So in 15 years, I've only needed to use my credit score twice. It's mainly for when you borrow money, basically. So the first thing I needed my credit score is buying a car. If you finance means you are borrowing money from a bank to pay for that car, and then you pay monthly back to the bank. If you buy the car in cash, your credit score does not matter. You pay full in cash, it's yours, goodbye. Same exact thing goes for a house. When you want to buy a house, you're either gonna borrow a loan from the bank and then pay monthly, or if you have the cash to buy a house, you pay with cash, the full thing. No one cares about your credit score. Also, I have not bought a house, so I never need it for that, but I have rented. And when you rent, you pay monthly. They look at your credit score. Now, what is credit score and why does it matter? Credit score is basically a prediction of how likely and how fast you pay back the money you borrowed from the bank. When you're using a credit card, you're using the bank's money to pay for something and then you pay it back. I put up a picture right here what the credit scores means and what color, what number. If you're in a green, that means you pay your credits back in time and fast. If your credit score is lower, that probably means you're either new, you just started your credit score, or you do not pay your credit cards in time because you don't have the money or you just don't want to. Some people like to abuse credit cards. When you use your credit card and you do not pay back in time, banks will start charging you an interest rate, basically a fee for not paying in time. That is how banks make money. And when this happens, your credit score goes down. Your credit score also goes down a little bit whenever you open a new credit card. But that's just temporary. It will go back up. Your credit score also goes down whenever you close a credit card. So your credit score is important when you are purchasing a car because they look at your credit score, that how likely you are to pay your monthly bills for anything that you use your credit card for. You can also use your credit card to pay your rent, but they might charge you an extra fee for that. For apartments, when you rent, they look at your credit score to see that you have money to pay your credit cards and any other expenses that you might have on it. That means that you have money to pay the rent. That means they can trust you. Now, how to bring up your credit score? It's actually very easy. One of the easiest way to bring up your credit score is to open a credit card. Now, if you're new and your credit score is very low, maybe the bank will not give you a credit card. What do you then? There are stores like Target, Home Goods, I think Walmart, H&M. There's always, like, when you check out at stores, they ask you, do you want to apply for our store credit card? If you apply, your score goes down a little bit, but it will go back up. Now, when your credit score is low, these stores are more likely to approve you for a smaller loan. It can be like $250 or $500 or maybe $1,000. The way I like to do it is when I use my credit card, I pay it back in a few days, like maybe 4 or 5 days. Never use your whole entire credit card. Use just as much on your credit card as you can pay back very quickly. So let's say you have $500 in cash right now and you want to buy a TV for $200. Okay, buy the TV for $200 with the credit card, and then 4 days later pay it with your $500, and then you still have $300 remaining. Your credit score will go up because you paid it on time. My very first bank credit card limit was $500, but in a few months they saw that I paid it in time every time, so I called and I asked them to increase my limit. And when you have good credit score, your limit can be as high as $75,000. It really all depends on your credit score. There's another way to increase your credit score if you do not get your own credit card. Let's say your credit score is bad and the bank does not want to approve you. There's another way, but it's a little risky. It's risky for you or risky for a friend or a family member. Let's say you cannot get a credit card, but you have a cousin who has a credit card. You can ask them to let you on their credit card as a authorized user. You will receive your own credit card. You will use your own credit card and you will pay for it. This will increase your credit score and your cousin's credit score. Now, if you do not pay it back in time, you will get interest, which means you have to pay more money, like a little fine, and your credit score will go down and your cousin's credit score will go down. If your cousin does not pay his credit card on time, his credit score will go down and so will yours. That's why it's risky. So this is the basics of what credit score is. It's just a history of how punctual you are on paying your credit card or making payments that you used. My credit score is in the 800s and that's what I do. I use my credit card and I pay it back in a few days. I pay my rent with a debit card and the cars too. So yeah, basically these are the only things I've needed the credit score for: buying a car when you finance, monthly payment, and the apartment. Apartments, if they see that you have low credit score, they're not gonna approve you. They can approve you if you get a co-signer, which means they put someone else also on your lease, rental lease. In case you do not pay, the other person will have to. So credit score is very important, but I think my trick with the credit card, use it and pay it back in time, pay it back very fast, works. So that is the basics of credit score. With that, that's the end of the video. The next video is gonna be how to buy a car. In that video, I'm also gonna mention that you're gonna need the good credit score to buy a car, especially if you're gonna finance. So the two videos kind of combine. So to not miss that out, make sure you subscribe and check out all the other videos in the playlist for immigrants if you're interested in what it's like to live in America, or if you are planning to move here. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay, bye.